Good day, guys. You're welcome to Piscase Graphics YouTube channel. This is my YouTube channel, so I want you to please like and subscribe. God bless you. So, quickly, we're going to be talking about Pixelab, everything that has to do with Pixelab. So, this is my Pixelab. I click on it. I haven't downloaded it from my Play Store. I click on it. This is my Pixelab. When you open your Pixelab, this is what you're going to see at first. So quickly, we're going to be talking about all the icons you see here. You see a plus icon, a pen icon, a delete icon, save icon, share icon, magnify icon, this one that looks like a quotation mark, the net, this one that looks like a net is actually a ruler, these three dots, and this imposed triangles you see at the top right corner of the drop down. So quickly, let's go with the delete icon. Now delete is used to delete everything. This one that looks like a bucket at the left angle of your phone, it looks like a bucket, so it's what we use to delete. You see this new text at the background here. You click on delete and click OK, and it will automatically delete out. Now quickly, let's deal on the different icons. On this plus, you see there's a plus icon at the top left corner. On this plus icon, you have the text, you have the current date, you have sticker, shapes from gallery and draw. So we're going to be touching them one after the other. Now when you click on text, now you click on this pen icon again, you see a drop down. Then you click on that same pen icon again on that drop down. Then it takes you to a place where you can actually type. So I can go there and type something down here. Let me just say down here. So I click OK, and that is my down here. This is down here. This is down here. Now, if you see, you can, let's go back to that text, to this plus icon again. Here we got the text from. Okay, let's go back to the plus icon. We'll go back to the plus icon. You get your current date. You see, there's another one, current date. What this current date just does is just that it brings the current date you are working on the document. It brings it to you. Probably you wanted to use it for the design. You can still pick it up. You can see we have our text. We have our current date. Let me put it somewhere. This is our text. Okay, now we'll go back to that plus icon again. We have our stickers. Now there are different stickers. You can see them on the drop down here at the bottom of your screen. You have the ball sticker, light, all these stickers. There are so many stickers that you can use here. They are free of charge. Many stickers you can use. So depending on the one you want, by the time you find you've made your choice, you click on it and that's all. Then you can see emojis here. There are different emojis you can use. You can click on any one you want. Then you see this sticker plus. This sticker plus is the one you can use to download more stickers from the internet. So by the time you click on it, it will take you to your browser and you can access so many other stickers online. So that is that for the sticker. Then you click on that plus icon again. You have shapes. Now under shapes, well, by the time you click on shapes, you see you have a triangular, or let me say a square shape here. Now with this square shape, you can get so many other shapes. Yes, so many other shapes depending on the one you want. So if you look at the bottom of your screen, you see a blue square imposed on a white square and an arrow pointed down. So you click on this arrow pointed down and you find out that there are so other many shapes here. I see the triangle, the star, depending on the one you want. You can just click on it and it will change automatically. If you don't want that one, you go back, you click on it, it changes automatically. Any one you want, any shape, you can see them. You click on them and it changes. So let's go back to our square shape again. This is our square shape. We go back to our square shape. Now, this square shape, you can actually fill it with a color. You can change it from this white color to green to red, depending on what you want. So by the time you slide down, you see color. So let me fill it with this color. Okay, this color, this yellow color. You see, you see fill color. You see fill color here. You just have to play around with your Pixelab and know and get familiar with all these icons. So you see fill color. I filled it with a yellow color. Then you see this blur radius. This blur radius is just to bend the edges of the shape you have made, most especially for these square shapes. Now look at this. Let me increase the blur radius. By the time I increase the blur radius, you can increase the blur radius gradually by using your plus sign and reduce it by with your minus sign. Now you see, by the time I increase the blur radius, you see my square shape automatically becomes a circle. So depending on how I want the shape to be curved, how I want the square or the rectangle or the shape I'm taking to be curved at the edges, that is how I will increase the blur radius to. So you get it. So that is that for the what? For the blur radius. Let me take it back to a square shape. Now you see opacity. Opacity is just to increase the intensity of the color, thickness of the color. Now you see this is our yellow color, but our opacity is at 100%. By the time I begin to reduce our opacity, you see the color becomes what? Faint. Now you will actually appreciate all this when you want to use it for your flyer design, most church designs. You appreciate all these tools we are seeing here. So if you increase it, the color becomes thicker, and when you reduce it, it becomes what? Lighter. So let's take it back again. So that is that for opacity. Now the next one we have here is stroke. Stroke. Now stroke is just like a lining at the edge of the shape you are working with. It's just a lining at the edge of the shape you're working with. Now let me increase the stroke width. You can actually determine how thick the stroke should be. You can see by the time I increase it, you see the stroke appearing. Now you see the stroke color here is black. You can actually change the stroke color too. Look at it. You see the stroke color at the bottom. Look at it. You can change it to white depending on what you want. You can change it to black, change it to green depending on what you want. Now you see I can reduce the stroke width like I told you before, and I can increase it. Then another thing you need to know, another tool here is the opacity of the stroke. Just like I told you about the opacity of the shape. If you want to increase the opacity of the shape and reduce it, you can actually do that too. So if you want to increase the opacity the of the stroke, you can actually do that too. Now look, just observe it. You see, as I reduce the opacity, the green stroke begins to faint out, and I increase it and it comes back to what? To normal. So you just have to play with all these tools. Then talking about blur radius. Now blur radius is just to blur the color, just to blur it out. Now if you look at your stroke, if I want to blur the color of my stroke out, watch, by the time I begin to increase it, the green blurs out. Now the this blur radius is different from opacity. I don't know if you are getting it. If you observe it very well, watch, this is blur radius. Look at the effect it makes. Let me take it back. Then look at what opacity does. Look at what opacity does. You see, I believe you can get the difference between the blur radius and the opacity now. Okay, that's that for our shapes. Okay, let me leave it. That's that for our shapes. So let's go back to that plus sign again. Then under that is TC from gallery. Now from gallery, that means you can go to your gallery and import images which you can work with. Maybe you want to design a birthday card, or you want to design a church program or a business card, whatever you want to design, and you already have some pictures in your gallery and you want to import them. You click from gallery, then it takes you straight to your gallery. You click on your gallery, so you choose files, then you pick on any images you want. Okay, let me say I pick on this. Okay, this is the image. You can actually crop any part you want. Either you crop it or you don't want to crop it, you leave it like that. You click on this mark sign and it takes the image to that page. So you can increase it and fit it into this place depending on what you are designing. This is just for the practice sake. Now I've placed it here. Now what this does is this. Now we've been able to deal on that from gallery. So that is what we use that for. So going back to that plus sign again, plus icon, we have draw. Now draw, when you say draw, now if you see draw, you see your pen size. Now pen size is just to know how thick the drawing should be. Let me choose a color that I want to use to draw. Let me take black for example. Now you see how tiny this is. Now if I increase it, look at it, it becomes thicker. Increase it again, it becomes thicker. That is that for your pen size. You can reduce it to make it very light. You see. So if I increase it, it becomes thicker. If I reduce it, it becomes what? Light. I can change the color and use another color to write, depending on what I want. Now, and also you can increase the smoothness of the pencil and the rest. You appreciate that when you begin to use it. Then blur radius too is the same thing. You use blur radius to blur the pencil, how I should come out. Okay, let me increase the blur radius. Now see the difference. You see the difference between the one that was blurred and the one that was not blurred. So let me take it back. Now I haven't written all these things down, drawn these things down, and you want to erase it. For example, I drew something I don't like here now. For example, I don't want to see this. What do? I tap on this eraser icon, this blue and white. I tap on it. Immediately I tap on it, I can start what? Erasing. You see. Now for me to erase very fast, I can increase the pen size so that my eraser will become what? Bigger. I can erase anything I don't want out of it. I can erase everything. You see how the eraser works? Very, very perfect. That's my eraser. It's going to erase only what the pencil drew. You cannot erase any other thing you have designed here. So I haven't done that. You can click OK. This mark sign. So that is that for that pen icon. So quickly, let's go to this. Look at this pen icon. That is that for the plus icon. Look at this pen icon. Under this pen icon, you see there's duplicate. And for example, you've written something and you want to duplicate it. Now let me see. Okay. Let me take this back. Let me take it. Let me say for example, I've written something here before. Let me say I've written something here. Let me say bad. Let me say bad. I wrote bad here before. So now what I can do with this is this. By the time I click on this pen icon, you see it takes me to this pen nearby. I can write. Now under this pen icon, you have this double rectangle on each other. It's just to duplicate. Now watch. Let me show you something. Let me bring this text to this place and increase it a bit. Now let me go back. You can see this one can actually help to duplicate this text. Make sure before you duplicate, ensure that you are clicking on the thing you want to duplicate. I want to duplicate this text, so I click on it, I click here, and I click on this double rectangle here. It duplicates what's bad for me. You get it? So I can have bad as many times as I want. So if I click on it again, I can have bad. If I click on it again, I can have more bad. So now you see this icon that looks like an arrow pointed, a curved arrow pointed backward, is to undo a particular operation. For example, now I've duplicated so many bad here. Now I want to delete them. What do? I click on this icon. One bad is out. I click on it again, another bad. I click on it. And it's taking me back to the original position I was before. You see? So back to this. So going back to this pen icon again. I don't know if you're following. Going back to this pen icon again. Let's see what we have there. We have this double T. Now let's see what this double T does. Click on it. Now this double T helps to do this your is just for your text size. Look at it. This double T is for your text size. You can use it to increase your text size and reduce it. Increase, reduce, increase, reduce. You can increase it gradually with a plus sign, or you just slide it and make it big or small. That's what we use that for. Then the other icon there is this rotate angle. That is the one close to this TT sign. This text size sign. This one. Yes. This is just to what, to rotate this text you have what written down. Look at it. You can see how you can work with it. You can rotate it anyhow. You can rotate it anyhow as you want. Just rotate it, rotate it, rotate it. So that is that for what, your rotate icon. So I can take it back to 0 to make it stand at the initial position. Another one is this sign, this arrow, these 4 arrows pointed at each other. These are for what? For positioning. For position. If you click on it, this is called relative position. You can actually take this your text to align it at the center. If you click on this, it's taking it to the center. This will take it to the left. This will take it to the right. This will take it to the bottom right. This will take it to the top right. This will take it this left, and this will take it to the bottom. This one. So just play with them and see how you can use it to what, to position your what, your text. It's called relative what, position. It's called relative position. Okay, that's that for that. Then the other one is your color. It's your text color. You see like a plate pouring down an oil or something. That's your text color. You click on it. Now with this color, you can increase it. You can put any color you want. You can put any color you want depending on what you want. Let me say I want to change it to white, black, yellow. These just different colors you want. Just change them to any color. Play with them. These are the colors. Then for example, you don't want to put the color on everything. You can actually highlight the color you want. You can see this place here where you can highlight it. Let me say I want to put the color on only B. I want to put B on a different color, and I want to put A on a different color, or D on a different color. I can put D on a different color, maybe white or black. You see, depending on what you want to put the color on the text, you can highlight it and just apply the color. That is that for color. Then you see this plus sign beside the color. You can actually use it to increase the intensity of the color. Look at it. You can choose to put it anywhere. You can use it to find the color. Immediately you find the color you want. As you see, as I'm moving it, it's changing colors. This one you can use it to increase the darkness of the color, the brightness of the color, just like that. Different things you can do with this color icon. So if you are okay with the color, you click OK, and that is that for the color icon. Then the next one is this is like a position icon too. It either position your text or the object at the back or at the front. Now watch, this will take it to the front, and by the time I tap on it, this other one at the right will take it to the what, to the back. You can see bad has gone to the back of this image, of this text. You can see that's taking it to the back. So if I want to bring it to the front again, I'll click on it, then I'll take it to the front. You can see it's back to the front. So that is that for all these icons here. So quickly, I've told you about your delete icon. If you want to delete, you delete it. And I've told you about your undo icon, this arrow that's pointing backward. You can bring it back. Then the other one is your save icon. Now if you click on it, this thing that looks like a memory card at the top, this is your save icon. When you are doing any design, make sure you save as a project before you save as an image, because When you save as a project, it gives you the opportunity to actually go back and make amends on any design you have made. Maybe you want to make similar design for somebody. Instead of you going to start afresh again, what you just go to do is that you go to the ones you have saved as a project and edit whatever you want to edit, remove and add. So let me say I want to save this project. I will save it as a project. Let me say a project name. Let me say training. I save it as training. By the time I put it as training, I click OK. Now it has successfully saved as a project. So by the time I go out of Pixelab, I come back next time, I can still go to my projects and see it. Now look at, you see this at the bottom, you see my projects. Now I've done so many projects, I've done so many work. So you see my projects here. If I click on it, you see so many work I've done. Look at the one we just saved just now at the top. This is training. I've done so many jobs like that. So I can just immediately go back to that place and access what I've done before. So that is that for that icon too. So that is for the save icon. Then for example, you want to save to the other one under is the save as image. You can save as image. You can save your work as an image, because that is what you are going to send to your client. So if I want to save as image, I click on save as image. Now please, if you want to save, I urge you not to save in default, because you won't have a clearer picture of it. So instead of you to save on default, you go to what, either medium, high, very high, or ultra high, depending on how you can do it. But I advise you to just save on medium, because the more you go, the higher the MB it will be when you want to send it to your client. The higher the MB, the megabyte of the image. So save with medium. I think that would be okay. By the time you click on that medium, you can save to gallery. So saving image, you see, within how many seconds your image has been saved to your gallery. Sorry, it's because of my phone. I have so many things I've stored in it. So that is that for that saving image. Okay, my image have been saved. So another icon is this share icon. You see the share icon at the top. It's still like saving it to, still like your save icon too. You can actually save it directly to your gallery or share it with somebody. So that is that for that share icon. Now this magnifier, this one that have one plus sign in a circle, is your magnifier icon. You can actually use it to what? To increase the view of your image. So by the time you click on it, you just zoom the image. Maybe there's something you want to look at, a design that is not too clear, or you want to get some hidden details, you zoom it out. Then you can take it back to its original position, that's 100, which is the minimum. Then this one that has a quotation sign, this quotation sign here, this icon, is actually used to get maybe some motivational quotes. There are so many quotes that you can click on. Now this one is for motivation. These are write-up for motivations. You can see success, anything that has to do with success. There are so many write-up on success. If it's friendship, you can see, instead of you stressing your head to actually find something to put on a particular design you have made, you can actually come here and just pick one. Let me say, okay, for friendship, click on this one. It's asking me if I would like to add a quote. I will click OK. Now you see, this text is actually very big. So what do? I can actually go and reduce the text size. From here, I come here and I begin to reduce it. You see, I reduce it. I've been able to reduce the text. Okay, that's that for my text. So quickly, let's go to I've reduced this text. Let me reduce it again to this. Okay. 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 Sorry, let me reduce this. Okay, that's that for text size. Okay. So, having done that for the quotations, you can get more quotations, more quotes if you want. Go back. If you want more quotes, you can do that. Then the next one is this icon, these three dots. Now, what do we use these three dots for? This is what we use it for. You click on it. Now, you can use image from gallery. That is how you go to your gallery and extract image to full screen. All these ones are just, when you play with them, you begin to see what they are used for. You see full screen, it takes you to your full screen. You go back. Then this is to export image from a gallery to the image size. I can actually reduce the background of my image size. I can reduce it to 1000. By the time I reduce it to 1000, you see 1000 by 128. It has what? The shape has changed. Let me take it back so that you can see the difference. 128 by 128. Okay, you see the difference now. You can see that both of them, they are what? Actually different. So the next thing is this icon. This looks like two parallelograms imposed on each other. This one. Okay. Let me do this text here. Okay. Let me bring this text so that it will be okay. A bit. Okay. Let me see, reduce the text size. Let me reduce it. That will not be obstructing what we are doing here. Okay. So like as I was saying before, so this parallelogram here, you click on it. Now, what do you use this parallelogram to do? Now you can see everything you have been designing, everything you have been extracting, both the emojis, the date and everything, all of them, they are in this place. So you can actually play with them, you can lock them, you can hide some of all these icons when you are designing so that it will don't disturb your designing. So by the time you begin to design, you appreciate all these tools. So quickly, now let's go to the icons at the bottom. I've told you the ones on this my project, whereby you can see all the projects you've done before, your project that you've saved, you can see them. So many I've done before. So this other icon, this is the A icon. Now this A icon is for text. It's for only text, for editing anything that concerns text. Now everything that I told you that is at that pen icon is already in this A icon. So if you are designing, no need going to that up most times because it's actually stressful. So you can be doing it underneath. Now you see, by the time I click on the A icon, without clicking on the text, it's going to take me here. You see text, quotes, and the rest. But if I want to edit this text now, I can just click on the text, then click on this A, and you see edit. I can actually add to the text or remove from the text. Okay. Then this is your delete. I can actually delete it. I can bring it back. Then this is copy. Like I told you before, is to duplicate. This is bring to the front. This is take to the back. Bring to the front. Then this one is for positioning. Unlike a relative position, you can increase this place to actually make the movement very fast. You can move it upward. You can move my text downward, depending on what I want. So that is how I can use this position icon. Then this is your relative position, top, left, bottom, and the rest. I told you before. I've explained this one before at the initial stage, if you followed up very well. So that is that for that. Then this is for your text size. I told you before, you can increase the text and reduce it depending on what you want. Then this is your padding. Now your padding actually will help your text to move either to the left hand side, left padding, or move to the right. These are just for beautification of your text if you want to. These are just for beautification of your text. Then you see the color. You can actually add color to your text. You can put different colors that you want. Put this, put this, put this. Different colors, like I told you before. You can see highlight any text you want to add the color to and apply it depending on what you want. Just click on it and that is it for that. Then we have texture. Now if you look at texture, texture is just adding, using a background to be the color of your text. Now if you click on that texture, it takes you to this place. You can click on this, it will take you to your gallery. Immediately you go to your gallery. Let me say I want to use a background for the gallery. Okay, let me say I want to use a background. Okay, let me use something like let me say I want to use this for my background. I want to use this for my background. Let me select this place I want to use for my background. Okay, that is it. You see, I've used it for my background. If you check very well, you'll be seeing that heart shape. You see, so you can actually position it. Okay, let me use a good background so that you appreciate this texture very well. Let me use another background. Images. I think let me use from here. Okay, I have good backgrounds here. Let me use different backgrounds. I have so many backgrounds I have here. Okay, let me use this golden background that I have here. And that's it. You see, I now have a golden background on my text. So that's just the work of what? Of the texture. So I can actually put it, enable it, and I can increase it how it should be stylish on it. You can see the effect. So if I know that I like it like this, I just leave it like this, or I want it like this. Anyhow I want it, I'll leave it. That's just to beautify your text. That's for texture. I've told you about opacity before. Opacity is just to increase the thickness of the color of the text. Look at it. The text is blurring out. Look at it, it's coming up. So that is just for your opacity. Then this is for your rotate. You can rotate it any way you want, any which way you want. Let me take it back to 0. Okay, that's for your rotate icon. This is from maxing. Maxing is just to cover a particular area of the text. You can actually play with it and know how you can cover some part of this text. Just if you do it, if you click on this OK, it will take you there. Let me undo it and come back. That's for your masking. Then for your font, now we have different fonts. By the time you click on font, you begin to see different fonts depending on the font you want. Different types of fonts. As I'm changing it, you see at the top it's changing to different fonts. There are so many fonts here. Let me say I like chunk 5 as a font. I click OK, and that is it. I've changed the font to this. So then the B sign is just to make it bold, make a text bold. Then this italic, make it slanty. If I want to underline it, I underline it. If I don't want to underline it, I cancel it. So that is what you use that style icon for. Then this one is for curve. You can actually curve your text. Okay, let me use another text so that you appreciate this very well. Let me use another text. Let me say style. Okay, let me add style with pride. Let me say style with pride. Style with pride. Style with pride. Okay, that's it. Style with pride. Now let me change the color to, okay, let me just put any color to make it. Okay, now let's go back to what we were talking about. This curve sign. You see, by the time I do the curve, I take it to the right, you see it bends. When you want to do those logo design, you appreciate this very well. So that is that for this curve. You can just bend the text any which way you want, anyhow you want it. So that is that for that. Then another one is the background. We have the background. Background, you can actually change your background of the text depending on what you want. You can change the color of your background to white, red, depending on what you want, anyhow you want it. You can see the background of my text has changed. That's for background. Then align. Let me use this to do the align. Align, you can actually align your text to be at the right, like this, at the center, or at the left, depending on what you want. This is to justify. And justify it. So when you begin to make design, you appreciate all these things. So that is that for align. Then you have your line spacing. You can actually space your line spacing between the text, between the letters, and between words. You can actually space the words depending on what you want. So when you begin to design, you appreciate these things. Then that is that for spacing, both for line spacing too. I've talked about the strokes before. Then let's talk about shadow. Now, okay, let me take another text. Let me remove the. Okay, let me use this. Let me remove the background from this text. Now, when we talk about shadow, let me talk about the shadow. Now, shadow, when you click on shadow, you begin to see how the shadow of this will be. Now, I can make my shadow white, I can make it green, I can make it any color, I can make it red, depending on what I want. You see, it's already casting a shadow. This style with pride is casting a shadow already, you see. So, now I can increase the opacity, reduce the opacity of the shadow, the same thing with blur radius. So there are many things you have to be playing with on this Pixel app. So that is that for that. Then you can make it an inner shadow. Maybe you want an inner shadow in the text. This is how it is. This is how it will look like. So you play with it and you know what that is that for. And emboss. You can emboss some of your text. So when you begin to emboss it, as you do designs, you begin to understand what you use this emboss for. As time goes on, then perspective. Now perspective, you can actually push. Why that text, when I embossed it, why it broke is because I've made one effect, this curve effect on it before. So by the time I want to emboss it, it's not scattering the text. So, but when you start designing, you understand how to work on these things. So this is your perspective. You can drag your text anyhow you want it to be. By the time I click OK, you see how the text looks like now. I can see do it like this and do it like this, depending on what you want. By the time you click this marked sign, it will apply. But I don't need it now. Then this is your 3D shape. Your 3D rotate. You can rotate this text in a 3D way, like this. This is for your x-axis. This is for your y-axis. You can rotate it anyhow you want it to be. So that is that for your 3D. Then 3D text. You can enable it to be a 3D text. You can increase the depth. It's a 3D text. So by the time you begin to design, you begin to appreciate all these things as you begin to use them. Now this is your 3D shadow. You can apply your 3D shadow maybe with black, green, red, depending on what you want. Increase the opacity or reduce the opacity. Increase the blur radius or reduce the blur radius. Expand it. So when you begin to do all these things, begin to appreciate them. Then you can do your reflection. The last one we'll be talking about, the reflection. Now your text can actually reflect. You see, by the time I increase the reflection, you see, I don't know if you can see it, the style with pride. You see, it is reflecting, depending on how you want it to reflect. That's how it's going to reflect. That is that forward for that. So this is all you need to know about. Okay, there's one more thing to know about this Pixel app. You see, we talked about this icon, this A icon. Now let's go to this one that looks like an hexagon. This one is used to edit shapes. Now if you look at it, it's still similar to the one of the text, but it's used for editing shapes and pictures only. So you can see crop, delete, copy, take to front, take to back, position, almost the same thing, strokes, 3D perspective. It's just the same thing, just like the what, like the one of the text we talked about. Then this one is for your background. Now you can make your background a transparent background, or you can actually make it an image. A different image we can use for our background here. You see, as I tap on them, it begins to change automatically. You get it? Then, or you can use images from your gallery. You can extract images from your gallery and use it as your. You can use it as your background. You can use some images from a gallery as your background. Let me say I want to use this as my background. I click on it, and that's it. Takes me back. That's my okay. That's it. I've used it as my what? As my background. So you can just see so many other features. You can change the color of the background anyhow you want it. Anyhow you want it. That is just it for the background. So and these are effects you make on the background. I can put a light at the center. You see the effect. Can you see the effect? The effect of this on the background. You see, that is that. So you just have to play with all these effects. Play with them. Play with the stripes. Play with them and see. You begin to appreciate their effect. You see, I've already put the stripes on this background. You see, that's the effect of it. So depending on what you actually want. So with that, I think we've come to the end of the introductory part or to Pixel app. Please endeavor to like and subscribe to my YouTube channel. God bless you.